I was talking to Melanie King this morning, right? And we were having conversations and we were, shooting the breeze, talking about the different things that we got going on and the different strategies that we have and the upcoming uh, things, let's just say upcoming things that we're working on and all of the different new exciting things that's happening within our lives. But then we also had conversations about how we need to be moving going forward. She gave me a little bit of insight. I gave her some insight. But one of the main things that I was communicating to her, and shout out to Elliot Jackson, I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. One of the main things that I was communicating to her is I was trying to help her to understand, hey, listen, you got to recognize where you are. And I'm not even talking about as it relates to relationships or as a woman or anything like that. I'm talking about status, content creation, things like that. You have to recognize who you are, where you are, and every fight does not have to be fought based off of how you feel or what you interpret it to be, right? And so, I was helping her to understand and I was telling her, I said, yo, Melanie, you can't fight every fight. As a matter of fact, you should be so insulated and protected from the things that you see from the people that surround you or by the people that surround you, and that the majority of what you see is only things that's conducive to the direction that you're trying to go in. So if you working on this or you in this status, right, or you've reached a certain milestone in your content creation journey or in your professional journey, and this is not just, as it relates to content creation, this relates to you specifically, right? Because I'm not telling you this in order to just talk about it from me and her. I'm talking to you, and so you can take the insight and information and apply it to your life specifically. If you on a specific journey or you going in a certain direction, it would behoove you to stay out of the mud from the people that you've evolved from, as far as them trying to pull you back into this space that you've largely graduated from throughout your life. Why would I go back to participating in high school games and I've been out of high school for over 20 years, right? Why would I participate in college games when I've been out of college for over 20 years, right? When I see people go back to, and this is no slight or no shot or anything like that. When I see people go back to the high school games, right, because they want to cheer on their alumni, and that's cool. And I just got to give it to you from my perspective. When I see people go back to homecoming, right, for certain colleges, and I don't care if you going to a historically black college or, you are a part of a fraternity or a sorority or something like that. I can't identify. And it's not because I chose not to pledge, because I never wanted to be a part of an organization where I felt like the majority of the guys were there just to try to get some box. That has nothing to do with it. I'm not interested in going back and going backwards at all. The things that I was interested in high school don't interest me anymore. The things that was exciting and fun to me in college is not fun to me anymore. I've evolved. The cars that I don't want any old school cars. I'm not interested. My very first car was a 1986 Buick Regal, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. But it served its purpose at that time, and I'm not interested in having another one, right? I'm not interested in having old technology. I'm not interested in hanging out with people that I've then divested myself from. I'm not even interested in reconnecting with family because it's not that they bad people, it's that they served a purpose in my life at that particular time. And now I've evolved to where I'm in a completely new space, new direction, and I'm not trying to go backwards. I don't look backwards. The only time that I acknowledge where it is that I came from is to recognize how far I've come so that I can keep in my mindset how far I need to go, because I realize that if I've been able to evolve past where it is that I've come from, then why would I be focused on what I can't do, because I've seen how much I've achieved. If I can do that in that amount of time, then I know I can do double and triple now with the insight and information that I know. I'm never interested in finding out what previous girlfriends did or the one that got away. I don't go back and look up people on Facebook. I'm not trying to understand what the old homie then did or anything like that. If we just so happen to run into each other, and we chop it up, and I find out that you've evolved in the same way that I've evolved, and then we wind up exchanging information and staying in touch because now we've reconnected and we going in the same direction. That's one thing, but I'm not on that type of time. I'm not interested in seeing, what they doing at the alumni events. And dog, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to my 10-year reunion, and that was cool. I never went to the 20. I'm not going to the 30. I'm not going to the 40. If we all live long enough, I'm certainly not going to go to the 50 because I'm assuming that the majority of us is probably going to be dead. I am so focused on what it is that I have right in front of me. I got a daughter in front of me. I got a phenomenal wife in front of me. I got a great family. I got a great family and you guys as a part of the Bag Chasers. What do I look like going back to do the same thing that I was doing in the first place? If I'm not continuously growing, if year over year, and this is one of the reasons why I document the journey, if year over year, I don't see significant progress in my life. If I go back and I look at my vlogs, right, or I look at my content, even when it comes to becoming a better live streamer or a better content creator, or the thumbnails, or the amount of the type of content that I'm producing, right? I did panels for literally like 2 or 3 years straight. No misses, no days off. I was there on the Lapeef Network on Thursdays when everything was going up and everything was going down. I mean, I practically built the platform on my back and being the villain and being the voice of reason and being the person that calls people out and be accountable. I mean, I don't really know how much more you want from me. When I finally announced and I said, listen, I'm off the panels. I may pop in here and there just to get my opinion because I like watching and you guys are entertaining. And there's other things that we need to be working on, sponsorships, being more productive behind the scenes, working on finding better people, looking to replace ourselves. If I'm not continuing to evolve, or if I'm not looking to replace myself, then what are we talking about, right? When I announced and I said, listen, I'm not going to be on panels. I'm not going to be doing this anymore. And people said, oh, no. And I get it, right? Because, familiarity, it kind of puts you in that sense of comfort because if you know what's always going to be in front of you, you never have to be surprised. And then you put people in an uncomfortable position when they have to see something completely different. And that's in real life content creation or whatever, right? But if I'm not continuing to evolve and grow the platforms by then replacing myself and then evolving myself to become, more of a productive person or live streamer or executive or person that's putting people in a position of power, listen, Q's show is killing it. Q, when she live stream on Monday nights and the clips and stuff like that comes out as a result and the growth that I seen in her as a person that oversees things that goes on the panel. Q, I seen something in Q a long time ago. When I very first met her, I said, oh, I could see it. I could see it. If she shows herself to be something or to show this level of consistency, or if I can see the character in her and if I can make sense of that, you know what I'm saying? It's going to cook. When everybody else fell off, when everybody else just melted into oblivion, come on, man. Y'all know all of the different people that showed up on the panel, men and women, and then they just melted into oblivion and they said that they was better than us, or, it wasn't going to be nothing without us. And we still rocking. Profits is up bigger than it's ever been, and where are they now? What happened to them? Because we were the ones that were carrying them. They added value based off of being a supporting cast. But let's be for real. Jordan is still Jordan at the end of the day. And the Bulls ain't winning no championship without Jordan. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, Jordan had to graduate and said, you know what, I'm going to become the owner. Now, I'm not really sure how good of an owner he is, but that's a completely different conversation. I want to be a business owner. I want to be making connections, and I want to be adding value, and I want to get remarried and all of this. Like, Jordan's life is evolved past whatever it was that he did in 93, 94, 95, 96, or in the 80s. And so when I see people still stuck in place, what I say a lot of times is, oh, they just stopped growing. Oh, that's all they had in their tank. Oh, they got comfortable. Or, oh, their best years are behind them because the only thing that they pay attention to is the things that used to be or what they were. I don't want to be one of those people that's sitting there chucking and jabbing, talking about, hey, what we used to do or how we used to be. No, my best years are ahead of me. And the only way that I can grow is to continue to focus on the things that add the most value to my life. I have a bright future. And some people's best days were as a result of latching onto me at a specific time of their life. And the minute that I decided to cut bait, that's all they ever had. The only thing that they could ever look forward to, or the only thing that they'll ever have, is to say, remember when we. They still stuck in place. They still stuck in time. They still focused on what it was that we first were when we first created it, or what it was. I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on what the growth can be and how things should be going forward into the future. I have so many things on my plate, so many irons in the fire, so many opportunities that's before us. I'm not sitting here waiting or working or having conversations about the things that used to be. I'm so focused on where the growth is. Where's the growth opportunities? Where's the opportunities? Because the minute that you start focusing on things when what they used to be is the minute that you start dying. You stop living and you start dying. And so the conversation that Mel and I was having earlier this morning was, hey, listen, recognize the direction that your life is going in and stop playing in the mud. Get the hell off of these out of the comments. Stop focusing on what's going on inside or what somebody else is saying about you. Man, I'm on a streak of not even knowing at all. The only thing I care about is that my names continue to reign in the algorithm. I want people to continue to put the name in there because it continues to make me relevant. But what it was or what it is that we doing on YouTube or whatever. I got a completely different content creation strategy that I'm implementing. And if in 2024 on April 26th, if I'm not having a conversation with you talking about how it is that I've grown and looking back on what things used to be, then I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. My goal in the next 3 to 4 years for the Millionaire Morning Show is for this not to be the Millionaire Morning Show with Anton Daniels, for this to be the Millionaire Morning Show and for somebody else to be hosting it. Let me say it one more time. My goal for this platform specifically is not even to be the one that's in front of the camera. I'm looking to replace myself. I want to put somebody else on. I want to put somebody else in a position of power. I don't want to be the person that I love the Millionaire Morning Show. This is my favorite time to do anything with regard to content creation and sit here and have a conversation with y'all and figure out how I can add value into your life. But if I'm sitting here 5 years from now, still telling you about how it is that you need to get your life together and repossessions and the Biden administration just got ousted and we got Kamala Harris as the president, then that is a effing problem. That is going to be a problem. I do not want to sit here still having conversations. We should have a whole new audience. We should have been grown. We should have groomed people. One of y'all that's sitting here having this conversation right now with me should be one of the ones that's actually live streaming with the audience and giving them game. Because if you're not sitting here taking every single gem that I have for you, if you're not a part of the Bag Chasers and a part of the Patreon, and you're not the one that's having this conversation with the people, if you're not in a position to then be handpicked so that you can get the bag and really, really level up and use the platform in order to elevate your status with regard to visibility so that you can then leverage that information or leverage that visibility in order to get a bigger bag, then we got a problem. We got a problem. So look around you. Look at the people to your right, like they say in church, and look at the people to your left. And understand that it's a strong possibility that those people ain't going to be next to you. But it ain't going to be because they sold you out or they did anything dirty. Nah, we're going to remix it. It's going to be because you've outgrown your circumstances and you guys are just going in two different directions. And it's an opportunity for you to then leapfrog into something else. And if they're not happy for you, then they was never with you or they was never for you in the first place. So get out of the mud. Let the pigs play in the mud. Let the people continue to do what they do. Stop focusing on the things that everybody is saying and start focusing on the opportunities that's in front of you. Because if they're talking about you, that means that you're relevant. And focus, work, get it, hustle, right? It's more bags to get. It's more opportunities to be able to take advantage of. And it's more people that you need to tap into that you have not even been introduced to yet. We got work to do, ladies and gentlemen, all right? So I just wanted to leave y'all with that.